Okay. Thank you so much to all of you in advance for your support of Starfish. And of course, thank you again to Christy for sharing her family with us and for her love of Starfish. So, I have the pleasure of introducing our last speaker of the evening and someone who will guide us to our next milestone anniversary. Tonight, we are fortunate to welcome Roxanne Brinkerhoff, the new CEO of Starfish Family Services. Roxanne started with us in January, and I have to say that in these last 5 months, she has jumped in with both feet and is already making her mark at Starfish. The CEO Search Committee welcomed candidates from across the country. We met amazing people with impressive backgrounds. Yet, sometimes, when you know, you just know. And we knew that Roxanne was the next leader of Starfish. She had decades of leadership in our exact spaces: early childhood education, behavioral health, and family wellness. She had lasting relationships with many of our best partners and peer organizations. She had a clear commitment to the values of Starfish: equity, integrity, relationships, committed, teamwork, empowered, and reflective. We shared a clear and inspired confidence that Roxanne had the skills, the vision, the enthusiasm, the creativity, and the necessary sense of good humor to harness our history of success and help guide Starfish to a new chapter. Most important, she had that same spark that we saw in Weta and in Anne. I am thrilled to introduce you to Roxanne Brinkerhoff.
Thank you very much, Carla. It is so wonderful to be celebrating this evening of our 60th anniversary with Starfish. Thank you again. First of all, I want to say this is an incredible milestone. 60 years. Wow. That is just, it feels like a lifetime, but what an accomplishment for Starfish. As I look across this room, a majority of you I actually know a great deal, and it's so nice that I was able to give hugs and greet and be with everybody here today. So I want to thank you for that. I also want to thank those of you that are faithful donors and partners, our employees, oh my gosh, who put every fiber into their work. And then through those doors came our parents, who trusted us with their journey. I believe that each of you are magical. Our vision, as Anne said, is a just society in which all children, families, and communities have equitable opportunities to grow, learn, and thrive. On our way to this vision, many days, which I love to hear, are the giggling of our children, a transformative therapy session for youth, and parents connecting to essential resources, which Anne talked about, so needed. Every day requires dedication and optimism. Being part of a Starfish family is actually really a dream to come true for me, and this hiring committee that hired me knows that, and I've shared my story many times. I will take this moment forward as one of my memorable moments. For the day that I need inspiration, this will be one that I will look back on. As Carla shared, I arrived only this past January. It's gone very quick, but it's been very exciting. I have to say it's been like a roller coaster, but the thing that I love the most is that it's actually brought me home to the work I love, which is early childhood education, behavioral health, family stability, and wellness. This adoration is centered with amazing people that you meet along the way, particularly in schools, clinics, and neighborhoods, where heroes are in those hubs can be found. We see children discovering, family learning and growing together, and professionals who have chosen this career to service. How can you not resist to do that? How can you not resist to be at Starfish? This year alone, Starfish is going to be serving over 3,000 children, youth, and families, giving our programs being significantly tied to Head Start for early childhood and to community mental health for our behavioral health. We know that clients are navigating very hard times, and the use of essential resources are so needed every day. The hopefulness of our work is a balance with sharpness that children and families ask time and time again to show grit and determination. One of the things I've noticed just how much they fight those barriers and systems that they did not create, but they also remain hopeful and they find a way. Families show up because they want a bright future for their child. How could you not? As parents, as we stand here today, and as I stand here today, I want the best for my children. And the thing is that parents and children love what they do. They want to provide the biggest opportunity imaginable for their child. And the work that Starfish does is magical. It really is. I want to share a few stories with you, and this is probably my favorite part of tonight, is being able to share the stories a lot like Christy, which I've gotten to know Christy, and I've actually had so much fun with her. She actually welcomed me immediately when I joined as the new CEO, and it was just such a pleasure. So I'm going to read it to you about a dad. A dad walks in with his 4-year-old daughter to her Starfish Early Childhood Center. They greeted by the teacher. He hugs the daughter and tells her he loves her. She is joyful and has many friends in her class, and she's meeting all of her learning milestones. That morning, that Starfish dad met with the Starfish guide. He really needed some support. He needed to be connected to food and utility resources, as well as a training program to bring a new career following his loss of employment during COVID. It has been pretty bumpy. He confides in the guide that the anxiety is building. The lasting isolation of the pandemic has taken the toll on this family. Together, they work on a plan to get him connected to other parents from the school and meet weekly. He shares as he leaves, "I feel hopeful about the future." Another story I love, and this one really it's such a good story of this young man. After a series of disruptive and traumatic events with this young person, he had been struggling in school and not being able to maintain relationships. His grandmother was the one that introduced him to Starfish. She connected him to our behavioral health team. He attended every week seeing a therapist. And one thing that was so hard is finding the right therapist with the right youth. As you know, when you have anxiety and you want to be able to talk to somebody about the issues you are having, you really need to be able to talk to the right person. And he was able to find that person with Starfish. And one of the things that he actually came to terms with is that it was okay to get help. It's not bad that I needed to ask for help. And that's something that's really hard for a family. But that grandmother knew. That grandmother knew that she needed to get help for her son. So that grandmother said, "My grandson has reconnected with his friends. He's even now talking about going to college, and he has plans for after high school. He didn't have those before." So really proud of this young person. I was recently visiting one of our early childhoods in Southwest Detroit. It's one of my favorites, actually. I have many favorites, but I really do spend a great deal of the time there. And one of the moms came up to me and confided about her family had moved 3 times in 1 year. And they couldn't find affordable housing. Transitions have been hard, even on her son. But she was hopeful that they would finally get settled. Luckily, Starfish, again, a wonderful Starfish guide, came and greeted them, welcomed them with open arms, and it made it very clear to her that she was where she needed to be. She was where there was love. They were able to connect her to resources, and they were actually, she said, "My son, I know, will be ready for kindergarten." She left feeling that. There are so many stories I could tell you tonight that have just crossed my path in 5 months. I have to say, and I'm going off script here, but I have to say, in all of the sites, when I go and I visit, families love to tell their story, and they're very thankful for what Starfish has done. We are so proud of those families. Servicing families and children are always going to be at the heart of Starfish. How it has changed over the years, it has, but we've learned and we have listened. And it's going to change again. From serving just the child to serving children and families, from prevention or crisis to prevention. Today, we've actually are going in a movement to where we serve families in their neighborhoods, in their communities, where they live. They don't have to always come to us. We go to them. It was funny when about 3 days on the job, people kept coming to me, as the new leader. What is your vision? Plenty of time, right? 3 days, they're coming to me, and I'm like, I don't even know where the bathroom is right now, but I'll get right back to you. But I knew coming out of the pandemic that this was a turning point for this organization. The last 3 years asked Starfish to pivot, as Ann said, to grow, to invest, to face fear, to heal, serve, and to love over and over and over again. This is a new unfolding chapter for Starfish. There's so much more that needs to be done. In fact, we demand that more needs to be done. Starfish is answering the call and continues to be steadfast as an ally for children, youth, and families. We continuously are thinking of new ways to integrate early childhood and behavioral health. We are looking to serve in buildings and spaces where we can locate with teams and support professionals in early childhood centers. We are adding more people power and expertise in specialty care, such as speech therapy, occupational therapy, and school nurses. It's been a long time when you think about schools and early childhood centers. They have nurses. We have a nurse, and she's lovely. We also are increasing opportunities for parents to get out now and connect, but we also are supporting them with being an advocate. And as I feel like we're just getting started, to tell you the truth, all it takes is people, and we have great people at Starfish. I have absolutely adored every person I have met. But what we need to do now is, of course, we need time to get more educators. We need more behavioral health therapists. But what we are hearing is it's too much. I'm burnout. There has to be a better way, and we understand that. So Starfish is actually committing to confront this. We have been actually steadily increasing compensation for our employees. We've expanded our retirement benefits. We actually offer a full paid parental leave. You don't hear of that in a lot of companies, especially in a nonprofit. We actually believe in comprehensive training for employees, as you heard tonight, as we dedicated to Ann. We believe in our people. But as we look forward, creating a therapeutic environment for our teams, time to reflect and recover, support for wellness and balance, even slowing down to breathe, following trauma, as well as to celebrate. The future asks Starfish to live out the mission in the broader context of the community, not to say that we have to do everything ourselves, but to consider the bigger ecosystem of our partnerships, which a great deal of our partners are here, and we're so thankful for that. How can we involve those collaborations so Starfish families can actually have easier access to housing, to actually safe outdoor spaces, medical care, transportation, employment? It takes all of us. We have to build that bridge. I'm going to share a comment that I actually heard from the Ford Foundation that presented at the Gleaners Power Luncheon this week. And it really resonated with me when a woman said, she was talking, and she goes, "This is not the time to be in a silo. We have to come out of our silos and work together, or we will not be successful." And that really resonated with me. I have looked out, and I see so many friends and colleagues and partners that have been supporters for decades. Some of you have collected thousands, and I've seen them. I have walked in the room, thousands of diapers and volunteers that have done hundreds of hours. You've actually introduced friends to us. You've welcomed us into your business, your clubs, your homes, and your place of worship. We are all here tonight because of teamwork and a promise that was kept to one another and to the Starfish families. So tonight, I am going to renew that commitment, and I'm asking you to renew that commitment of time, heart, and resources. We are actually the biggest ally for our children, and that is the most important and the most powerful. I actually have one last story with you, and this one actually resonates with me too. It was a younger woman that actually unfortunately had a child that ended up with cancer at the age of 2.5, and she actually was crumbling at a stage of where she didn't realize what to do. When you actually get the phone call or you find out that a child has cancer as a parent, you pretty much crumble. You don't know what's going to happen the next day, if that child is going to survive, if you need to quit your job. Are we going to be able to pay those medical bills? It is really a time that is challenging to look and see if you are going to succeed as a parent. And it's actually, in a pressure cooker, you think about, is my child going to be okay? Is she actually going to survive? Am I going to be able to keep her safe moving forward? And this actually parent had the opportunity to actually come into our Head Start program. And the thing about the Head Start program is it actually not just helped that child thrive with learning, but it embraced that parent, and it embraced those parents, because at that time, sometimes you just need from that teacher just a hug and to say, it's going to be okay today. It's okay that you leave. She's going to be fine. And that's really hard because you're really not wanting to walk away, and you want to look and see and make sure that, is she going to go play? Is everybody going to be nice to her? And the one thing I have to say is this child, as we know, thrived. She actually was able to move on because of the Head Start program. The family was able to thrive, was able to move out of an environment that was crumbling. The mom also shared that this could have also saved her life. And I'm not talking about the child, I'm also talking about the mom. Because when you are in those type of situations, it's very difficult to think clearly. Even though you may seem that your life is all put together, it could take one instance to where it can collapse. When I invite you into the future and ask you for your commitment as your new CEO, to consider giving. It's because I know how critical this is. And it's because I'm I'm speaking personally, because I am that mom. And that is my family. And my daughter is here today, my beautiful daughter, and my son. So, I may serve as CEO today. However, I walk through the doors knowing that other Starfish families are a heartbeat away of crumbling just like I was. Deep in my heart, I know that our early childhood center, our behavioral health, and our family wellness are transformative. I must say, I want to really thank my family for the support, and I'm going to thank them in advance. And I'd like to do something a little special before I get off the stage, is I would actually like to thank the Callis family, if you can stand for a second. And I'm going to ask the Brinkerhoff family to stand. And I consider this a passing on the torch of the Callis family to the Starfish family. As we leave tonight, oops, I lost my page. Sorry about that. Too many pages. I love my development officer. I am confident with my tenure that we will both have great challenges, but I'm going to have incredible joy. Through all that, I promise you, I will do whatever it takes to ensure our mission and families thrive. I'm going to thank you in advance for your trust, your generosity, and your partnership. To wrap up the evening, as I said, I'm going to thank my family again as I embarrass them. But there will be times when Starfish will have to come first, and I know that they will support me because they believe in Starfish too. My Denton, I will introduce, I just get to brag about my kids for a few minutes. My Denton, I can tell you a little bit, he's on his journey. He's a private pilot, hoping to become a commercial pilot someday. And my beautiful daughter, Grace, who plays softball at Purdue Fort Wayne. She's actually a pitcher, so when I think about this sick child and then I look at this strong individual of a young woman, it really amazes me that we did get through those hard times. And very thankful for my husband, who has been a lifelong educator at Wayne Westland, and his support over the years. If I can ask you to give them all a round of applause and my appreciation and love for you. With that, with the love of my Starfish family, which includes all of you, and you are my Starfish family, I'll see you for the 75th anniversary, and thank you again. Get home safe. We'll be in touch, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.